did a really good job.
I call a meeting of the county council to order tonight, a meeting of October 27th. It's good to see everybody here tonight on such a messy night. I wish everybody a safe trip home tonight. As we always do, Councilwoman Anderson is not going to be with us tonight. Mr. Ted Nash is going to give our implications, and then we'll say our pledge of allegiance, so we'll all stand.
Let us pray. Dear Lord, we're so thankful to be here tonight to serve the people of Lawrence County and bring up our different problems and hope that we'll come to good conclusions. We're so thankful for all of our emergency services, sheriffs, departments, and all the people that really does the small jobs as well as the big ones in this county to keep it running smoothly. We ask that you give us insight, blessings to solve the problems of the county, or at least work on them. We ask this all in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. First thing tonight is approval of our agenda for October 27th, 2015. We have a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve the agenda for October 27, 2015. Second.
Got a motion and a second. Does anybody have any deletions, put in? Not, we vote by showing our right hand. All in favor? 6-0. Next thing is approval of the minutes of our October 13th, 2015 meeting. Do we have a motion to approve our minutes?
So moved, Mr. Chairman, with the additions or deletions as necessary.
Do we have a second? Second. Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? None, we'll vote by show of our right hand. All in favor? 6-0. First thing tonight is public hearing ordinance 800. Mr. Cruikshank.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. One editorial correction we need to make. The title you see is showing the Project Lombardi. Your ordinance in your packet shows the company name, which is REI Holdings LLC. If you just please make a note of that, both as to the public hearing and third reading. This is an expansion. If you recall, earlier this year, REI purchased some land and entered into a fee agreement of $4.5 million from the county. This is expanding that same investment to a $9.5 million investment in the Owens Industrial Park, Section 2.
Okay, the public hearing ordinance 800 is now open. Anybody that wishes to speak, come forward, state your name, speak.
You were here, so
Mr. Chairman, I'm Rebecca Doolin with Parker Poe, and I represent the company. I don't have anything prepared. If you have any questions, I'm happy to address those, or if the public does. But like Mr. Cruikshank said, this is an expansion of a previously approved project, so it's pretty simple.
thank you for that.
Thank you. Will anyone else speak? If not, we'll close our public hearing, and I'll ask for a motion for a third reading ordinance 800.
Chairman, I move the third reading of ordinance 800. Welcome this expansion into our county.
We got a motion, do we have a second?
Second, Mr. Chairman.
Motion and a second. Are there any discussion? If not, we'll vote by the show of our right hand. All in favor? 6-0.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Next thing is first reading ordinance 801. Mr. Cruikshank.
Yes, sir. If council will look at item 5 in the discussion items, we can kind of reverse the order here. They both go hand in hand. Resolution 2015-28 is the inducement resolution for field lift project Coretta. And of course, 801 is the first reading of that ordinance. This is an $8 billion expansion of an existing industry, create 30 new jobs. The fee agreement proposes a 6% success ratio, a 20% credit for multi-county park status. This is an existing company in the upper part of the county. We would encourage and support approval of resolution 2015-28 and approval of first reading of ordinance 801.
Do we need to do those together or do
Now,
it?
we'll do the resolution first and then do first reading.
Okay, so we're gonna go to 5 first.
Yes, sir. We'll do the resolution first.
All right, we're looking at resolution 2015-28. Do I have a motion for approval of that?
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve resolution 2015-28.
Got a motion, we have a second. Second, Mr. Jones. Motion and second, any discussion?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Crookshanks, it says 6% assessment ratio and a fixed millage rate for a period of 30 years. What is that millage rate, or is it determined on the new investment?
Determined on the new investment.
Thank
And
you.
that'll be in the fee document that you'll receive at the next meeting.
No further questions, Mr. Chairman.
All right, we'll vote by the show of our right hand, and all in favor, raise your right hand. 6-0. All right, we're going back up to number 1, first reading ordinance 801. We have a motion.
Move for first reading of ordinance 801.
Got a motion, we have a second.
Second.
Motion and second. Any discussion? If none, we'll vote by the show of our right hand, all in favor. 6-0.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Next discussion item is first reading ordinance 802. I'm working Mr. Cruikshank tonight.
Well, Mr. Chairman, this is good news, that these are companies that are expanding or adding investment to Lawrence County, in addition to the RAI that we just finalized. So this is all good news, and I'm glad to relay it to you. Ordinance 802 and 803 are kind of partners. This is Project Yak. This will be a $17.9 million investment. Not as many new jobs, 13 new jobs, 6% assess ratio, 35% credit, multi-county park status, and it's also located in the upper part of the county. These are by title only. We did not get the actual documents in hand and have a chance to review them before the agenda deadline. We will have those documents for you before second week, but we would certainly support first reading approval of both 802, which is the multi-county park expansion, and 803, which is the ordinance authorizing the fee and lieu agreement. We have to answer any questions the council may have.
No problem, been explained, so we're gonna have 802 and then we'll follow with 803.
Yes, sir.
Ask for motion for first reading ordinance 802.
Mr. Chairman, move first reading ordinance 802.
The motion, we have a second.
Second, Mr. Chairman.
Motion and second. Any discussion? If none, we'll vote by the show of our right hand, all in favor. 6-0. Next is first reading ordinance 803. Ask for a motion on that.
Mr. Chairman, I make a
First
motion to
reading
approve.
803.
Get a motion, we have a second.
Second.
Motion and second. Any discussion? It's good to see these projects come to council. All in favor, raise your right hand. 6-0.
Thank you, Mr. Paulson, Development Corporation, for their argument.
Our next next item is resolution 15-27. Mr. Cruikshank.
Yes, sir. This, in the past, the council has approved suspension of what we commonly refer to as the blue laws during the holiday season. A number of years ago, the council passed an ordinance allowing for the suspension of Sunday sales prohibitions by resolution. This resolution would suspend the imposition of blue law regulations through December 31st, 2015.
All right, I'll ask for a motion for resolution 15-27.
Mr. Chairman, I move to extend the ordinance 698 under resolution 2015-27.
Motion, we have a second.
Second, Mr. Chairman.
Motion and a second. Does anyone have any discussion?
Mr. Chairman, would this is just in unincorporated areas of the county, the cities have to deal with their own issues, that's the change, but that's the way it's always been.
I think the cities do it too now, though.
Yes, I think so.
I do have a question. This is not alcohol sales.
ABC sales are regulated separately. This would be retail sales.
Retail.
Any other discussion?
I will say, I know there's still some opposition out there, but in order for our county businesses to compete, I think this is an important ordinance, and I'm supporting it.
This used to be referred to as blue law.
That's correct.
We've been doing this every year for a long years.
4 years.
Any other discussion? Not, we'll vote by the show of our right hand. All in favor? 6-0. We've already done 5, so we'll go to 6, request for reimbursement from Mr. Greg Lincoln.
In the past, we have, fire service has received a good many grants, assistance firefighter grants. This is another one, for the Sandy Springs Volunteer Fire Department. They received a grant, $22,600. $1,076 is the 5% match that the department has to pay for the grant. This grant is replacing all of their fire hose with new hose and new nozzles to go along with it. This is very much needed, seeing that most of our hose was made back in the 1980s and is very old and I'm asking for us to take this from the contingency that we've done before with other grants. And as of today's date, we have not spent any funds from the contingency, and it would be a $1,076 request.
Thank you, Greg. Everyone has the paper in front of them, it's very well self-explanatory. Grants is the future of our system. I'll ask for a motion for the request for reimbursement for Sandy Springs Volunteer Fire Department.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve expenditure of $1,076 at the 5% match for the grant for the Sandy Springs Volunteer Fire Department to be paid for out of the Fire General Contingency Fund.
Got a motion, we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any more discussion? If not, we'll vote by the show of our right hand. All in favor? 6-0.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to state that we appreciate these departments going out after these grants. They've been very successful at it. I think under Greg's leadership and the department chief's leadership, we appreciate it very much.
Next thing is a report from our county council committee on health, welfare, and public safety, and I'm gonna call on Mr. Seegers tonight.
Thanks, sir. I did a summation of this in the agenda package, number 5 in the summation. Further than that, I'll go through this a little, try to explain it as best I can. The Committee on Health and Public Safety, that's, I think, Dr. Pitts chairs that committee, and I think Councilman Jones and Councilman Thompson were members of that committee. Chairman Wood was here that night. I think Councilman Nash was here also. It was a joint committee meeting with the finance committee. Nash heard that committee. Councilman McDaniel was here as well, so I think everyone heard some discussion that night to try to explain what we're trying to do. What we're presented with, the county presented with, is a request from the EMS director, which I've supported in this, would be to adjust pay for most of the paramedics who serve in Lawrence County EMS. Mr. Burrell, I think, did a very extensive review and study of issues related to EMS, and the issue with pay was one of the major factors in having a turnover rate in the 40 to 50% range. What he presented for the committee's consideration was to raise the pay of captains in the service by 3%, lieutenants in the service by 3%, field training officers and paramedics by 4%, and paramedics by 5.3%. Is that correct? 5.5%. That was my mistake, okay. These would adjust these salaries upward slightly. You can see on the printout there that the adjusted salary for captain would go 45,056, lieutenant would go 43,053, FTO paramedics would go 40,966, basic paramedics would go 39,572. I think in compiling this information, the EMS staff looked at neighboring counties where would be in competition, I guess, for the employment of these types of trained individuals. The committee voted unanimously to approve this, to start in a pay period beginning in November 2015 and extend to the end of the fiscal year, which would be June 30, 2016. The total cost of pay adjustments, including benefits, would be a little over $29,000. And you see in the summation, I talked to Mr. Kirk about this after the meeting last week. We have a contingency account that the county puts in its budget for basically for emergency purchases, expenditures, that kind of thing. And looking through the current payroll in EMS for the FY 2016, which extends through the balance of the fiscal year, it looks like we would have enough funds in that account to cover the extra expenditures through the end of the year because of vacancies and that sort of thing. So rather than contingency account we've got $100,000 plus left in that account, but that is sort of a fallback in case there are some unforeseen things that may come up that we don't know about yet in another 6 or 7 months left in the fiscal year. So back to maybe 9 months left in the fiscal year. So what I would recommend would be to if the council approves the increases, just run those funds through the payroll account of EMS, and there should be sufficient funds there before the end of the year to cover that expense. If the funds, if they should run over, we'll certainly keep track of it. But all this is going to come out of the general fund of the county anyway, so we'll take that contingency or take that out of that account. It's still the general fund account that will be documented before the end of the year in the August next year. So, Dr. Pitts, I'll speak on behalf of the committee, that's okay. I think if you all unanimously supported this as a funding mechanism, is something that the administration would recommend. So,
Yes.
I think the committee report doesn't require a second. That's correct, Mr. Crookshanks. So I think, Mr. Chairman, a vote would be in order to approve this if this is what council needs to approve.
Okay.
Any questions? I'm sorry, that was pretty quick. Everybody understand what we're doing? Thank you.
Before I call for a vote, does anyone have any questions about this?
Mr. Chairman, I'll start some of the far end. I'm in favor of this and voted in affirmative for it. I think Mr. Burrell did a great job presenting it. I think he did a great job in laying out where he was in his county as compared to adjacent counties and other service providers. But I do want to recognize that this is a stopgap measure to curb our continuing to lose some good people as part of our department to surrounding counties because of size. We still have a charge in my mind, and have had that charge for several years now, to continue to search for ways to expand our service and improve our service. It's an award-winning service. I think we offer the citizens of Lawrence County a great EMS service, but we do recognize there are some areas that we could improve response time and other services. So this is only a part of that improvement process, and just a very, very typical beginning. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Knight, you got anything?
No comment.
Mr. Jones?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. I concur with Mr. Tollison also. Some things that were concerning to me, we talked about exit interviews and performance assessments, those things. And so moving ahead, we really need to look at what we can do better, figure out why people are leaving. And I know that's not always possible because I own my own business, and so you can't always get an exit interview from somebody. I understand that. But what I did, I tried to reach out to some of those people that we might have lost in the county, in our former paramedics and so forth. One of them was a combat medic who served in the U.S. Army, and he was actually in Afghanistan in the Karingal Valley. This individual, he has an extensive background and experience, both public and private sector, emergency medical services, over 16 years experience. He's worked both as a paramedic, field paramedic, administration, and director for different services. But I just want to tell you, here's what his reason for leaving the county was. He said that it was not the lack of pay that drove me off from Lawrence County EMS. What caused me to walk away was the sheer volume of EMS calls. In a 24-hour shift, as an example, he would run about 20 calls with a basic EMT at his side. He said during his shifts he would not sleep. He was concerned that he would not make it home due to physical exhaustion and lack of sleep. And I worked 24-hour plus shifts before, and it is, I would feel lucky to be able to get home, so I would feel just, there's no way I could drive an ambulance being up for 24 hours, and feel safe, driving somebody else's safety in my hands. So I think that's dangerous, and I understand the 24-hour shifts, the 12-hour shifts, it takes more staff, and that's what we're hopefully working toward here is getting more EMTs, paramedics, captains, getting more people, more staff, so we could eventually move to a setup that wouldn't be as strenuous on our employees, and so forth. And there's also I've got some concerns with EMTs. I've heard that there are about 5 to 6 EMTs who are looking for work elsewhere. I know this pay raise here is not, it's not doing anything for our EMTs, and so I'd like to address that at some point here too. But ultimately, this is a Band-Aid. This is a short-term fix. This is something that we're going to continue to work on, and there's options out there to move forward to help our whole county, and that's what we're going to do. So, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
You certainly open to recommend you give the EMT maybe a 3% if you want to.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, I would like that, but I think we need to look at the whole system. We need to address the issues with the amount of hours people are working and actually awake, driving ambulances. And so I really want to look at the whole system and consider any options that we can have. So.
Mr. McDaniel?
No comment, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Pitt?
No more further comments, Mr. Chairman.
I agree that demand has increased, and I ain't planning on, and we did this in the past, we have done this in the past, have a planning session, maybe in January, February, March, where county council sits down and comes up with a plan. We done that. And one item that was discussed in the last one we had was the building at Hillcrest Square. And it's over there now, so it's something that'd be time to bring up some items like that. But, we can't really help. I know we got the best help in the EMS service of all the counties around. I can't help it if everybody else wants to get our people. So I'm gonna call for a vote on that. All in favor, raise your right hand. 6-0.
Thank you,
Chairman, I'd like to make a statement there. If we move forward with ideas and ways we can improve that EMS service, I know there are several private providers and some public providers with some ideas that have done this. We don't necessarily need to rewrite the world. We just need to, dare I say, steal some ideas. So I certainly would like to ask that anybody that has input to bring it to us, because we need that input. I'm not an EMS service provider. I've never worked in that aspect of work. I thank goodness for them. It's just something that couldn't do. So I certainly welcome any proposals from providers or any ideas from our team members as well as team members of our surrounding counties and other county staff members. So I hope that we can reach out across our county borders for those suggestions. Thank you, Chair.
Next item on our list is appointments to Blaine Human Resource Commission.
I will, Mr. Chairman.
Address that, Aaron.
I think this is a letter dated October 14th, Dr. Joseph D. Patton, Chief Executive Officer of Gleams. Gleams is a human service agency located in Greenwood. They serve 7 counties, I think, in this area of South Carolina. They are required by their statutory background to appoint certain members of certain segments of the community. This one is a recommendation that Ms. Janice Roberson, RBRSN, 3884 Woodbury Drive, Lawrence, be appointed to represent the private sector of Lawrence County. And I think there's a syllabus following that describes Ms. Roberson's accomplishments and her interest in this position. We recommend that Ms. Roberson be approved as the private sector representative of Lawrence County in the Human Resources Commission.
Do we have a motion to appoint Ms. Janice Roberson to be appointed to this board? I'll open it for a motion.
So moved.
Have a motion, have a second.
Second.
Motion and second. Anybody have any discussion? Not, we'll vote by show of our right hand, all in favor? 6-0. Next item is our administrative report, Mr. Sleeper.
Yes, this will be real quick. In the morning at 10 o'clock, the FEMA representatives from Atlanta primarily, and London, will be in the county to meet with all of the service providers, that would include cities, utilities, on the public side of destruction of problems resulting from terrible rains 2 weeks ago now. So the meeting will be held at the Lawrence City Police Department training room, which is on the 2nd floor of the SunTrust building across the street, Courthouse Annex, on West Main Street. They will be there in force, I think, to explain how to, explain how to fill out forms and answer questions and that sort of thing. And I think we expect it to be a pretty good turnout. Councilman Montini is certainly more welcome to attend that briefing. It'll be 10 o'clock in the morning. I think, again, the damage that Orange County suffered was certainly considerable, but not what some of our neighbor counties did. We're still in the $250,000 range or so, something like that.
As far as the total damage, the last estimate I saw somewhere around 280 to 300. So in And it could rise a little bit tomorrow, once we have that meeting and people bring other cost estimates that they didn't have in the preliminary damage assessment.
Anything you want to add to that?
No, sir.
Okay. That'll be in the morning. It'll take a couple hours probably to go through all this.
Yes, sir, probably about an hour and a half, 2 hours at the most for the presentation. And then if there's any questions, we'll be there all day to get all the questions answered for the applicants that
I
will be
think they're
there.
going to look at individual structures, is that right, over the next couple of days to measure damage, that sort of thing?
Yes, sir. On Thursday, also, we'll have FEMA and state representatives in the county looking at some of the homes that have been registered either through my office or site visits by my office or going directly to the FEMA website to register any damage that they have. The majority of the damage that we're seeing coming across the county is leaky roofs, those kind of things, and not real sure how much assistance we'll be able to get for those folks. But they had a concern, they had an issue. We're going to push it towards FEMA and see what any type of resolution we can come about from that. So,
Thank you. And again, I commend the state and the staff for what they've done during the storm, and since, and all the emergency providers, they did a great job. I think there was some discussion about 2 weeks ago, that we continue with the work they're doing. The second item, I spent most of the afternoon today with Dennis Ashland, Scott Holland, and some others in touring, going through our new administrative bills over here. All of the ceiling panels are in, about 56% of the painting's been done on both floors. They're putting up wall covering now. There's still doors to have glass inserted, like a window on a service door. They completed the back parking lot behind the building, which will take up some of the traffic that would have been in that, where that location is. That's been done, been compacted, it's ready for use. They've still got to do the judges' secure parking in the back with the gated entrance. They've ordered materials that I think that should take about a week to complete once they get all the stuff in. They started the punch list, and today, I think Mr. Ashley saw and did. I think according to the building superintendent over there, the punch list should be completed sometime between the middle of November and the end of November. And then that will have to be taken care of. There was a question sometime, I had a question myself about where are we in the process? And we were about a month and a half, 2 months behind schedule based on what was told last fall when this building started. But the project manager over there keeps a rain gauge, and he said that, all the days they missed getting started and finishing the outside work, they'd probably be about equal, if they had some, of course, weather always be a problem. The rain we've had the last, 6-8 weeks have been horrific. They completed, they just about, well, they have completed the curbing on the front of the building as you come around to the corner. But a good bit of that, they've got concrete in, curbing, that sort of thing. Some of that was washed away, though, from the prep they were doing. The rain today got some of that. So I asked him today about occupancy, and it'll be sometime probably in December when we start moving. I got holidays on, all that stuff sort of coming up. The building looks great. I'd invite anybody, you need to put on your galoshes, it's kind of messy over there. Anybody wants to go through it, you let me know. We can take a look at it. I think they're going to complete the elevator. They got the elevator in on the first floor. They're going to complete the controls for that tomorrow, and it'll be operational. I don't think that anything that, most of it's touch up, picks up. They've got the server room on the second floor, which I think will be a great IT advantage for us. It's just been completed. The racks ran the server to go in, and Jim Anderson, put a lot of our IT work is proceeding with that. We've got some furniture on order, I think will be here at about, at an appropriate time. We've ordered a couple of whiteboards, similar to this, for conference rooms, that sort of thing. So I think that there are no more, I'm not aware of any more change orders, expenditures above and beyond what was initially programmed. Now, we have to change orders, I'm not saying that, but complete the work, we should have sufficient funds to do that. There'll be some funds left over at the end of the project. I don't want to predict the number on that yet, but it'll be a pretty good balance left on that bond account. Mr. Ashley will be back in 2 weeks, I think, to start his, if you look at today also, I think, with Mr. Lindley on, and some of the work, proceeding on the fire department. So he'll be back, I think, week after next for bid opening on the Young Station, like the Green Road right there. And so he'll be in town. If you want to take a look at it, 2 weeks from today, we're glad to arrange that. If you want to come by one afternoon, we'll go and take a look at it last year. I think it's going to be a great building. Looks good. I'm not much on wall patterns and flooring, that kind of thing, but it's very good. I think you'll be pleased with that. The other thing that considering our 30 years of leaky roofs in this county, a lot of drop leak and all that horrific stuff we had, this metal roof, nothing on top of it. All of the HVAC units, one's inside, the other two are on the side, so there's nothing up top to, and all the security of the roof is underneath, so I think that's standpoint should last us a while. So, I was pleased to go through it today. Like I said, a little wet, a little muddy, but I think the product on that is going to be very good, and I think it'll serve this county well for a number of years. Anybody, question on any of that? Okay. Thank you, sir.
I want to ask a question on our church roof facility. How did the roof fare? After our improvement?
It went on well. Actually, I had a few pictures for y'all that I haven't shown y'all yet. Perhaps I'll do that next meeting. But no, after we uncovered the wood subsurface, we found absolutely no wood to be replaced, which was unexpected. We had expected or set aside about $3 grand for that. Type of wood and then the type of roof that was on it, I think, protected the wood a little bit. But we were very surprised that we didn't have to replace any wood. Went down with no problems at all. Looks great, and we'll provide some pictures. With not having to replace any wood, we'll come in. It was invoiced at $58,000. Council had approved $61,000 to include $3,000 worth of wood replacement. So we came in right at $58,000 for that wood replacement. And looks great.
Thanks, Mr. Gray.
One thing that they have completed is the passageway, or the passageway from the old building to the new building. It really is a good transition. And what, we talked for years about this building. One thing we talked about was safety. That's one reason I think we talked about doing this new structure. And there's a couple. What interest of the building can be the front door of the main courthouse, come down the hall that way. There's also an option to have the doorway in front of the building utilized as well. So we've got a couple options for security. There's some security cameras installed in that passageway that comes from probation parole down the hill down to the front door of the new building. I think it'll be much safer than what we have now. That'll be a major component of this thing. We're positive along that. Thanks, sir.
Thank you, Mr. C. The next thing we have is a 15-minute period for public comment. If you have something you want to comment about, come forward, state your name. You can comment for 5 minutes. The public comment period time is now over. If no one wants to address the council or public comment time will be closed, and I'll ask for comments from council members. And we can start with Mr. Pitts.
No comment, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
No comment tonight.
Mr. Knight?
Mr. Chairman, I do want to say again, I appreciate the work the fire department's done to receive these fire grants. And I appreciate our EMS department for moving forward and running those services. Those are both important parts of our county, not any more or less important than other county employees, so don't get me wrong, but they work for us hard. And I appreciate Mr. Seaton's update on the building. I'm looking forward to getting into that with our staff and occasion. I think our work efficiency and communication from department to department will be a lot better once we get into that bill.
One thing I'd like to pass along would be to Mr. Rob Rush and there was a road over in our community that was grown up pretty bad. He and his men went in there and really did a good job of it. And I can't really call how many people has come forward and talked to me, and they said to pass the word along to you and your people. Thank you very much for fixing their road. But they did do a real good job on it. And I'd like to take this opportunity to say thank you to the fellow members of this council for what we've done tonight. And we hope as time moves on, we can do more for our employees. And as a citizen of this county and a member of this county council, I see the importance and need of all our employees. During the past budget sessions in past months, as we met and discussed several times the amount of money coming in and going out, where our spending has outpaced our income, we have met it head on and did what we had to do to balance our budget and take care of the county's problems. It has not always been unanimous, but that's how the system works. You discuss and hopefully come to the best decisions which will not satisfy everyone. We have faced the past 4 years of shortages from the state of about $4 million. We faced it just like other counties have had to face it. That's why savings is so important to this county, to keep our services and our government intact. The past budget season, our department heads, along with our directors and employees, made cuts of almost $400,000. Along with this, many other changes were made. I've been accused of not supporting small businesses, and that is so far from the truth. And I'm not going to get into any detail about who accused me of this, but it's kind of really comical, because I've been a small business owner myself for about 35 years. I've run a successful business, and I realize the bottom line is the main thing. Lawrence County government has run for many years. It's just so easy for someone to stand back and tell you what you're doing wrong. Lawrence County's come a long ways over the past 25 years with the help of dedicated and experienced people. We all learn from our mistakes. 25 years ago, we were fighting fires to back of pickup trucks or hand-me-down Army trucks. Look at the system today. 25 years ago, if you called an ambulance, you got the undertaker in the hearse. Look at the system today. Look at our 911 system, what it's become. Look at our public works and our public safety. Our EMS at the past convention, we were told that we were one of the best in the state. I could go on and on, but I will not. I would just like to say thank you to all our employees and our taxpayers of this county. Thank you very much. We got an executive session. Do we have a motion for a legal briefing concerning the fire bond? Do I have a motion to go into executive session?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Do we have a second? We have a second to go into executive session?
Yeah.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. All in favor, show your right, raise your right hand, 6-0. We'll take a 5-minute break. Go into executive session.